Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and we are back with another Gundam card game video. Now, this one's going to be about gameplay, and I want to get one of these heavily edited gameplay videos out per week, if not more, if I can help it. But yeah, for this particular video, we are going to be going and showcasing a white-blue blockers deck versus a blue-white Titans deck. And I know in the previous video, I was talking about what was more toxic, the oversaturation of white blockers in this format, or the ever-looming threat of hardline aggro. And you guys definitely had a lot to say about it, so I appreciate it. It was really cool, and I'm still getting back to those comments as well as other comments. I'm just in the middle of moving right now, so it's a little rough, but I believe in the next couple gameplay videos we're gonna really showcase those polar extremes. So this one is two decks that feature white blockers and the consistency of blue, the brokenness of Amuro, and I hope you guys enjoy. But if you do enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe if you never want to miss a beat of the Gundam card game content I produce. And then if you want to join the membership and go the extra mile, it's only 99 cents a month for you, but it all adds up for me and I appreciate it. You guys will be able to get these videos as soon as they are uploaded, not when they are scheduled. You'll be able to get the unedited commentary locals rounds that I'll put up. I'm actually about to put up a lot more from white or blue-white Titans, so you guys will be able to see that gameplay. And then on top of that, is every time I get extra product, you guys will be able to get in these free giveaways and win them. Right now we have these 3 ST06 Clan Unity starter decks, and at the end of November I will be choosing 3 lucky winners to get those decks. And if I can find the the restock for like Iron Bloom, I'll get those. I'm gonna be in there when we get the 00 starter decks, the Hathaway starter decks. So yeah, anytime I get extra product, it will be for you guys. That being said, let's hop into the match, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so we actually are going off of a white-blue versus blue-white matchup, which means kind of a lot of things. There's going to be access to a fair amount of filtering, a fair amount of draw power. There's also going to be access to a lot of blockers. So this was kind of a weird matchup in terms of what was going on. Always, because Gundam is a blind, mulligan, you don't know what your opponent's going to be playing. There's not a leader like a lot of Bandai games outside of Digimon. It really is kind of like just you're sitting there wondering what cards you're going to see, and seeing as that Gundam has the first couple of turns potentially being passing, it can be even worse. You can see my hand has a base, unforeseen for a blocker and a 1-drop. I was thinking about this, but I'm actually going to mulligan because I wanted more motion in the opening turns. Now, this isn't really more motion. We do see an Amuro, 2 Overflowing Affections, and a base, which is wild because in this particular deck I run 3 just because of all the blockers, but apparently we're just going to see them back-to-back, so, whatever. I'm going to opt to mulligan, and we see that new hand. He actually opts to mulligan too, so his hand wasn't that crazy either. So, setting up my life, and yeah, I guess he's just shuffling up. Like I said, this is about to be a weird match of tempo, but I think this match is going to be pretty funny because you guys are about to see exactly what people are getting rather annoyed about in the format. It's just kind of wild to me, though. Also, if you guys notice how my mat is cut off on that side, I am going to be fixing that angle in future videos, so just bear with me. And yeah, now we're going to start. So, him going first, since I won the die roll, he's going to just play out his resource and pass, followed by me going up and immediately having an Overflowing Affection. Looking at my hand, well, I can't see my hand, but going off of this, we are going to end up kind of having a hard time discarding. We're going to discard the Nail Argama, mainly because, like I said, it's very early in the game, and we have blockers in the deck, and, we're trying to get Psycho Gundam on the board and Breach. And so, yeah, generally, we're pretty good with board cleanup. So, we're going to end up playing out Gundam Ilfrith on our second turn. He already played it, got his second turn and passed. Now he's going to respond with a Rickadias, essentially re-gumming up the board before hitting Overflowing Affection to sculpt his hand. Also taking some careful time just to figure out what to discard. Just me playing an Ilfrith and an Argama doesn't really let him know that much, or Nail Argama. Doesn't let him know that much. It just lets him know that he might be in for the long grind game. So he just discards the blocker. I thought that meant we were going to turn a more offensive route, but no, that just meant he had a lot of blockers. My bad. But I'm going to end up playing out Amuro, pairing it with the Ilfrith and taking out the EX space, because the moment I see this many blockers, I want to start making it super aggressive to try to push through. And this also makes Ilfrith a 3-5, which is a lot when it comes to what can actually block it, what trades with it, all these things. So after playing out the Zawart, I passed the turn, and now it is back on him. He's going to swing in with the Rig Diaz, and because Zawart cannot touch shields, but Rick Diaz can, I'm contemplating, but this is a pretty good moment for me to trade this Zawart. I want to get rid of a flexible pawn on his board, and Rig Diaz is that dude. He can block, he can stay alive through a lot of things and whatnot, but now he's actually going to play out Launcher Strike and then immediately link it with Kira, and then swing in to my Ilfrith, lowering its power down by 2, essentially making it just a 2. Oh yeah, Ilfrith, sorry, was a 4-5. That was actually really strong. But yeah, so he just took it down to a 2-5 and then just clapped it. So very unfortunate. And then he passes the turn. A lot of momentum on his side right now. I'm going to use Overflowing Affection again and trying to figure out what to discard. Now, at first we discard an Overflowing Affection because we think we're going to want a plus, but then I think about it a little harder, and I realize that what I probably want to get rid of is likely going to be the Show of Resolve, because Show of Resolve will cut off an entire turn when I need momentum, whereas the Overflowing Affection is going to allow me to keep putting down cards. So we're going to play out a Hyzak and a Rick Diaz of my own and then pass. So far, it's kind of unfortunate because the Kira underneath there is going to make a lot of these cards non-factors. If he's able to put the Hyzak sideways, then oops, ouch. But if he's able to bounce, like he can bounce either of these, he can make them minuscule if he can rest them and then swing. So there's a lot of roughness for my field, and it's pretty much his court right now. He's going to opt to play Striker Pack. And one thing that I did find odd here was him playing out the 4-2. I do think there are situations for the 4-2, but in this case, I guess the only thing it can do is block Rick Diaz, which does actually have something to do. It's like if he makes the 3-4, he can block the Hyzak and not die. If he makes the 4-2, he can block the Rick Diaz and die, or the Hyzak and die. So I'm kind of weird about it, but he ends up playing Show of Resolve and drawing 2 and passing. So he's really getting up there on cards in hand and options to play, and that really starts to get scary for me. So I'm going to draw. I am now at 5 hard resources and 1 EX resource, and I've got to figure out how to make this work. So we're going to swing with Rick Diaz to kind of test, and that's what he wanted, the 4-2-4, just to get rid of that. So we do end up trading there, which is fine. And now I see that he has 2 damage on his Launcher Strike. So Launcher Strike has 3 HP left, and now I got to think if I want to try to get rid of it this way. So we're going to tap right now 4 for Psycho Gundam, and then we're going to link it with 4 Maserame. Didn't realize that that kind of was there, 4 to play it, 4 linking. And then we're going to use our EX resource to play another Armor Array, resting the Launcher Strike. And now we're going to actually start doing Titan Gundam things. We're going to swing here, getting rid of that, and taking 5, which is going to do that. Breach is going to do a damage to a card in the shield area, so we're going to heal for 2, and then we're going to draw 1 card since we only have 4 in hand. So now we're going to swing with our Hyzak into shields, and because a Titan card, getting rid of freedom, mind you, and then because of a Titan card dealing damage or destroying a card in the shield area, we're going to actually draw a card, or not draw a card, sorry, heal 2 again. So now our Psycho Gundam is at a healthy 5, but we are tapped out, and that is a huge problem. When you guys see my deck list, you'll understand why. Oh, I guess I'm at 3 cards in hand. Yikes. So he's thinking for a little bit. And then he actually asked me about my EX resource. Now, chat, look, always ask your opponent to verify. If anything looks fishy, ask them to verify. It is the correct move. But because this is specifically me, it's cringe. It's cringe because I had my counts right. But no, it's not cringe. But for real, yeah, he just wanted to make sure I could use Psycho Gundam. I had to explain to him I have 5 resources and I used to have 1 EX resource. So he had to recount it, and then that allowed him to get his count straight, going up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now he's actually going to play out his Archangel, going down to 3 shields, but also having a base to stop the Psycho Gundam from wreaking havoc. And then he's going to tap 5 to play Yall Strike, and then pair it with Kira again, making the second Kira of the game. He's going to come down, and he's going to bounce the Hyzak back to my hand along with the Amuro, but then he's going to swing into Psycho Gundam, lowering its AP by 2, making it a 4 AP card, and then surviving with 1 HP. This would be really nice to have a pinger in this situation, but to be honest, in this deck, that's not what I was going for. I'll have the deck list up tomorrow, so you guys will be able to see all that. But yeah, he dealt with the Psycho Gundam. Now, this is kind of a really big issue for me here, because there is a lot of chances for me. There's a lot of good things I could do to come back into the game, and it's just not going to come together. So we're going to use another Overflowing Affection before checking what I have in hand. And right now, the way I'm thinking, we don't have a strong hand, but we have full shields as well as a EX base. And so we have at least a turn to just be completely passive and build our board and then try to clap back. We just need to draw relevant cards. And as you guys will see, that is more or less the part that I am going to find impossible. No, but we're going to discard 1 Psycho Gundam, MA form, mobile armor form, and then we're going to play another. After doing so, we're going to tap 2 and just actually play out 2 Hyzaks, and hopefully next turn we're going to be able to mount an offense. 3 cards in hand still. Just really want to be able to get in here and destroy these cards in the shields, and hopefully mount, like I said, an offense next turn after taking some moderate losses. But we've got the shields and the EX base to do so. I'm expecting to take 2 to 3 shields after my EX base goes. But we do have more stuff that's going to happen here. His Yall Strike still has 1 HP. Very, very easy, but if he blocks anything, then it's going to go. So that's at least a blessing right there. Thinking about his turn for a little bit, he's still got a full 6 resources, so that's pretty good. I am at this point kind of contemplating what he's thinking through right here. There are some hard turns, but again, Gundam does not have as many play lines as some of the card games like that are currently popular. So, but we're just gonna get 2 Ilfris and 2 Rick Diaz's and a Striker pack. Like, again, everybody got to think about their plays and how to go about it. I'm just, it was a very passive turn, so I was kind of wondering what. I won't even say that. I won't even say that. He could have had a chance to basically swing out or decide to mount this wall. But as you can see, everything on the field on his side has blocker on it. So it's a little rough to try to get past here. We are going to play out a Gundam Mark II, and then we're going to play out a Rick Diaz of our own, and then we're going to pass the play right back to him. Realistically, just want to make sure that when we start turning cards sideways, we both, well, I at least have enough cards on board to try to come out on top. But he also has quite a formidable board with another 2/4/2 Yall Strike, like I guess Sword Strike blocker. Again, I think when it comes to this field, yeah, definitely, like it makes sense. The 4/2 is going to be able to block Psycho Gundam. It's going to be able to block this the Rick Diaz in the May form, but at the point he put it down, it was only the Psycho Gundam, which again, I understand that you want to be able to block it and catch it before it can repair. It's just a little odd to me because he already has Yall Strike on the board, which can do that. So I would have kind of opted to have something that can survive a little more, but hey. So now he's going to play another Yall Strike, and this time he's going to play Amuro, and this is going to really start breaking this dynamic. He's going to bounce my Rick Diaz and rest my Psycho Gundam, trading it with the Sword Strike token. And I'm going to actually use Unforeseen Incident so that I can only take 1 damage, and he has to get that out of there. And then he has to swing his Rick Diaz into it. That's just the power of that card. We just turned 1 card and a body into 2 bodies off of his board, and that's pretty cool. It actually was a substantial swing because now he has he went from almost a full board to a little over, like, just pretty much half the board, a little over half, but you can't really have 2.5. Or sorry, actually, it's exactly half because you can have 6 units, so my bad. But yeah, so we tried to even it up. He has much better card quality. We're gonna replay out the Rick Diaz. This is just a painful turn where I did not draw anything relevant. I'm trying. You guys have seen me dig. We're gonna play out the Marasai, and no sign of Psycho Gundam, and I have 1 card in hand. No sign of Psycho Gundam, so it's making it really hard for us to push past here. With only the 2/2s up and the 4/3, I didn't feel comfortable pushing in because outside of the L Strike, which he doesn't have to block with, all of these cards are getting eaten up by his blockers, and if one gets through, it's not even threatening his Archangel. So this is pretty much the problem here. I cannot actually make moves towards this. So he's going to actually rest 6 resources and play out Unicorn Gundam. And then I rest 2 more resources and play out Ilfrith. Unicorn Gundam being the first non-blocker played from this deck this entire game. That's crazy, I know. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not really biased because I understand. I never on this part blame the players for it. The players are going to play the safest way, even if it's boring and it just kind of like lacks interaction. But it's kind of more on the devs for making this blocker saturated set 2 meta, because this is kind of ridiculous. Like, if you guys have noticed, like, I do employ blockers myself, but I've got a strategy and the blockers sit around that strategy. The other opposing deck, the strategy is literally blocking, and then we see that this Unicorn Toppin is here. In blockers, insert Kira, insert Toppin of choice, and you've got a solid deck that has you relatively safe from taking damage. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, so we're gonna sit here and kind of see what is up. This is a really, really rough board for me to even try to get out of. And the worst part is the longer I wait, the worse it's going to get. So we're gonna start tipping our battle into here, and he's going to trade his Ilfrith for my Mark II. Very interesting because L Strike could have just eaten that and not died, and I would have had to figure out a response to that. This time we're going to swing in with the Hyzak, and he's going to eat it up with an Ilfrith. Now that I am down to 2 blockers, we're going to try to push our Gambit, going for a pair with Amro to rest L Strike, and then going into another pair to rest the other L Strike. Now that he's out of blockers, I have the ability to at least shut down his base, which is going to happen immediately because we need to get that card out of here. At the end of the day, that base could potentially start turning the corner and allowing these L Strikes to clear board and then untap, and we can't have that. So we need to get rid of Archangel in hopes that he doesn't have it again, and then afterwards we're going to swing into L Strike to get it off the board, and then we are going to swing into there. Now, I do think that this maybe was a mistake of mine. We could have swung into the other L Strike that was at full life. That is my misplay there, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, that Rick... No, wait. Okay, I see what I did there. I did not swing with the 5 at it. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry guys. I was trying to figure out what I did wrong. I swung the little guy at the guy with 1 HP. But now I still have a body on board, and he's got to respond to it. But respond to it he does, and he plays out Unicorn with Benager and draws a card. I do believe that puts him down to 2 cards in hand, but he's got the body momentum by far. 2 linked units, both full health bosses, and then another Unicorn. So I can't even put up blockers anymore. He can just send the first attack at my shields, and he'll put down a blocker. If I do block, he gets to swing again and do the same thing with something else. So he gets to swing here, and he's going to attack my Mirasai, taking 5 damage. He's got 3 cards left in hand. Then he's going to end up swinging the Unicorn over here at my shields, getting rid of my EX base, and then he's going to swing the Strike over at my shields, getting a Mark II out of my shield pool. Before playing another Striker pack, adding another blocker, I think this time we're going to see Launcher come down, and then he's going to pass the turn to me with 2 cards in hand. So he's got 1 blocker up, 3 shields, and I draw an Ilfrith. I cannot make moves. I don't know for the life of me where my Psycho Gundams are, where my other show of resolves are. I just can't get any motion, and I have to pass with legitimately 8 resources because my deck hates me, I guess. And then he's going to play out another Benager, drawing another card. The disparity gets wider, and he's going to actually now be able to threaten pushing game. Actually, I have 2 blockers, but only one of those blockers will be able to be used, and he's going to be smart. So you can bet the card he's swinging with is going to be the fully healthy unicorn. He does still have his other unicorn rested, and I'm going to actually remind him of that in a second. But 3 cards in hand to my 0, and this is just getting out of control. So he's gonna play out an Amuro and immediately rest one of my blockers, and that's going to pretty much seal it, because now on attack you're going to actually have Unicorn rest Rick Diaz. He's gonna swing on Ilfrith and rest Rick Diaz. This is total board control now that Unicorn is just on the board. And yeah, I reminded him that unicorn has not swung yet. And now he's going to link again. Man has the gas. And he's going to end up swinging with Launcher Strike, reducing the power of Rick Diaz, taking that 3 damage, swinging over with Launcher Strike, swinging in with Unicorn. I get a burst, which is Jared freaking Forehead Mesa, and then he's going to pass with 1 blocker up just in case I magically come up with something. And I draw, and it's Unforeseen Incident. I check, I do have a base and Unforeseen Incident in deck, but then I wanted to check something, and my gosh, guys, look at me draw looking for my Psycho Gundams. So I do have, in the next like 6 cards, 2 4 Masarames. 2 of my Show of Resolves, those are those. And then I start looking for my Psychos, and would you have it? That's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So my last 10 cards of the deck had my 3 Psycho Gundams in it, being at 10, 3, and 1. So yeah, it was not my game. But yeah, let's go over to the closing. Yeah. I think that was a pretty good match. I had a chance to turn it around. I really think the real slip was when I couldn't find any Psycho Gundams to put on the board. It really just had my momentum just slip in a completely different way. And he was able to put out a string of blockers, but I found it interesting that like up until the very end, I didn't feel completely out of the game. I had a bunch of explosive plays. Amuro is absolutely the GOAT. And I think the Titans have a pretty good rushdown strategy. So with that being said, I think that like if my 3 last Psycho Gundams weren't in the last 10 cards of my deck, I could have really put something together. But let me know what you guys think of this match. Let me know what you guys think of the blocker meta. And I think next time we're gonna have a little aggro spice in there. So one more time, like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you don't want to miss a single beat when it comes to Gundam card game content. And if you want to join the membership, as I said before, 99 cents a month for you, but it all adds up for me, helps the brand float, and I appreciate your support big. And we'll be doing more and more things for the members, not only the content that goes up that's for them, not only the giveaways, but we will be doing more and more as I just like continue to build that side of the YouTube channel. So thank you guys. I will see you later. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, membership or not. Thank you guys for your support. Later.